Censor was my most hyped and anticipated horror movie of 2021. I first saw the trailer and heard the director talk about the film, and I fell in love with the idea of it. I was so excited to see it, but I hate modern horror. Whenever I see a horror movie trailer for a recent film, I just kind of tend to roll my eyes. I've lost faith in modern horror. But for some reason, Censor intrigued me. Maybe it was the 80s inspired video nasty plot, or maybe it was just all the beautiful colors. Whatever the reason, I needed to see it. So, after watching it, did Censor regain my faith in modern horror films? Well, let's find out together. Welcome to the HellBound Horror Show. Censor from 2021 is set in the early 90s and it stars Neve Aglar, who plays Enid, a very straight-laced film censor during the period of the video nasties. She's a professional and insists that they need to properly cut the films in order to protect the public and the youth. She takes her job very seriously, but looking at violent images over and over and over again must claw away at your psyche, right? Especially when the papers report of a man who kills his wife the same way as a murderer does in one of the movies that Enid censored. Well, her boss isn't very happy that a movie that she cut had a negative effect on society, and Enid takes it rather hard. And this isn't the only baggage that Enid carries with her. When she was very young, her little sister went missing, and Enid was to blame. She can't remember what happened, but the mystery begins to unfold when she believes that she sees her sister in a snuff film titled Don't Go in the Church. The film was directed by a Frederick North, who may hold all of the answers to all of these secrets. Censor is a psychological horror film and the directorial debut of Prano Bailey-Bond. She does a fantastic job. She was meticulous with her direction. Things were blocked and storyboarded to death. Everything was done so precisely, and with Prano being an editor as well, she knew exactly what she wanted. But why was the film so well planned? Well, it had to be. It was shot on film. Yeah, a low-budget horror film. Shooting on 35mm. In 2021? I must be dreaming. This is awesome. Film is stupid expensive, so things had to be planned extremely well, but it was worth it. Censor is a beautiful film. The contrast is brilliant and the colors pop. Cinematography is almost perfect in every single regard. Now the score is a bit more droning, which is fitting for a dark psychological descent into madness. Acting and performances are also praiseworthy. Neve was phenomenal in the demanding role of Enid. Censor has so many great things going for it, but I didn't love it. I mean, I like it, and visually the film is worth the watch. It's one of the prettiest films I've seen in years, but it almost feels like the film values style way over substance. And that's not an inherently bad thing either. My favorite director is David Lynch, and he's known for style over substance, but Censor didn't really pull it off for me. The beginning had so much promise, but I feel like the script really lets down the latter parts of the film. I feel like the film script could have used a few more rewrites. It's not the film's fault that I had differing expectations going into it. It's like when you wake up in the middle of the night and you're thirsty. You want milk, so you grab the jug and begin to drink, only to find out that you grabbed the orange juice bottle by mistake. Orange juice isn't what you were expecting, so at first you hate it. You normally love orange juice, but since you were expecting milk, you hate it. That is sort of my initial take on Censor. It wasn't what I expected from the setup of the film, so I'm a bit sour on it. I want to revisit it though, and I'm excited to do so because it's a pretty film to look at, and it's a brisk 84 minutes. This next little part could be considered a spoiler, but not for plot. This is a spoiler of like a shot selection that kind of deals with the feel of the film, but not necessarily the plot. So here's a quick moment that I just want to talk about. In theory, it was really cool, but I absolutely hated it. At one point, later in the film, the aspect ratio slowly begins to change over the course of about 10 minutes or so. On one hand, it's awesome because the change is so gradual that it becomes very claustrophobic. It's also cool because VHS had the classic 3:4 ratios, so our character's reality is slowly becoming that of a film. But for some reason, it annoyed the crap out of me. I noticed it a minute or two into the segment, and that's all I could pay attention to. I was wondering if I had accidentally pressed a button on my TV remote and somehow changed the crop of the screen. It took me out of the film completely, and I couldn't pay attention to what was actually happening on the screen. So cool in theory, but it was so annoying to watch, at least for me. My wife didn't really notice it, so maybe it's not that big of a deal for most people. Censor was worth the purchase for sure, especially this Blu-ray set from Vinegar Syndrome. This set is awesome, and of course, the box and the slipcovers are top-notch, and those special features, they're to die for. We have 2 commentary tracks, plenty of interviews with directors, actors, editors, composers, cinematographers, sound designers, a short film by the director, plus 2 video essays about the video nasties that are each a little over 30 minutes, and then we also get an hour-and-a-half documentary. This set is loaded. This is why Vinegar Syndrome is the king. All in all, Censor is a beautiful film, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. I can't recommend the movie enough, especially this rendition of it. And that's all I have for tonight. So, as always, thank you so much for watching. Stay healthy, stay safe. Take care, everyone.